Hi everyone, and welcome to Sports Watch. If you like the content, please press the bell icon for further notifications and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Jon Jones has officially ducked Tom Aspinall. There was no beating about the bush this time. When asked about whether he wanted to fight Aspinall if he got to Stipe, the answer he gave was a resounding no. He said, Aspinall hasn't proved anything yet. The only guy he has beaten is Andrei Arlovski. And at that point of time in his career, he is only interested in legacy fights or fights that make the most money. People might look at that 10 years from now and still talk about how great he was. As to what fight he wants next, he says a fight with Alex Pereira makes the most sense. Both of them are of the same age, both of them weigh the same, and he's extremely popular right now. He also said belts don't matter to him as he has plenty of them. He just wants to fight Pereira irrespective of the belt. And if it doesn't materialize, he'll probably call it a day and focus on being a better father. Now let's actually try and make sense of what Jones said. He said Aspinall hasn't proven anything or hasn't done anything yet to be in the conversation. Now let's put things into perspective. Jon Jones has had one fight in the heavyweight division. His fight against Stipe would be his second fight at heavyweight. In the meantime, Tom Aspinall became the interim champion and has defended the belt. On the question of Tom hasn't fought anyone, that is a blatant lie. Aspinall has beaten Sergey Pavlovich to become the interim heavyweight champion. He has beaten Curtis Blades. He has submitted Alexander Volkov. He has beaten Marcin Tybura. And most of those fights have ended in the first round itself. Most of those guys were big heavyweights, and Aspinall smoked them in the first round. He has done more in the heavyweight division than Jon Jones has. That's the truth. And he's a serious threat to Jon Jones. Jones is smart enough to see that threat coming from far off. It's not a coincidence that he doesn't want to have anything to do with Tom Aspinall. For years he avoided Francis Ngannou. It took him 3 years to put on weight. And all this talk about him wanting to face Francis became louder when Francis left the UFC. Jon knew then as well if Francis had the power to knock him out. For Aspinall, the danger is even more. Aspinall is younger, faster, and knocks out everyone he fights. And on the ground, he's dangerous as well. So no way a 37-year-old Jon Jones gets in the ring with a guy 10 years younger. So he's fighting Stipe, who is 42, and calling out Pereira, who is 37. Both those guys are going to be considerably slower than Aspinall and don't pose much of a threat to him. Alex Pereira is the light heavyweight champion. He hasn't had a fight at heavyweight yet. He has expressed his desire to move up to heavyweight and fight for a third belt. Dana White dismissed the idea, but all of a sudden Jon Jones is quite keen on that fight. Why do you think is it so? Alex is a kickboxer. He's still a novice in wrestling and grappling. Nobody has tested him down there yet. But Jon Jones will. It will end up exactly like the Cyril Gane fight. He will probably win without even getting hit. That's a huge possibility. That is why he is pushing for that fight. Small risk, yet high reward. The fight would do huge numbers for both guys. But how that fight would be good for his legacy is still questionable. Remember, Alex Pereira fought in middleweight. then moved up to light heavyweight. So Jones is expected to dominate a guy who was once a middleweight. Beating him would not do anything spectacular. It is the expected outcome. So when he says people would talk about this fight 10 years from now, they would be talking about this fight from his perspective. In fact, Alex Pereira would get all the notoriety for being the guy to move up and try to win a belt in three separate weight classes. That's some gangster shit right there. So Jon not fighting Aspinall would definitely be questionable for his legacy as a heavyweight. In fact, it will raise further doubts about him picking and choosing. His opponent, Stipe Miocic, is 42 years old. He has not fought in 4 years. His last fight was against Francis Ngannou, which he lost by knockout. Now it's a certified fact that Stipe Miocic is one of the greatest heavyweights ever. But age catches up with everyone. He's way past his prime. So Jones fighting him when he's semi-retired kind of questions his mentality. Nobody has seen or heard from Stipe in quite a while. He has relied on his anonymity in the build-up to this fight. He has never been the brightest on the microphone, ever, but his lack of appearances has made the fans question his intent. Maybe he has something up his sleeve to surprise Jon Jones. He looks a bit bigger than his last fight. He appears to be in the mid to 40s. He will need all that strength to keep Jon Jones off him. Jon, on the other hand, has dropped down to 235 pounds for this fight. He weighed in at 248 pounds for his first fight at heavyweight. So Jones is coming in lighter. He'll probably be sharper and faster and look to wrestle more. He expects to dominate Stipe in every department. From the fans' point of view, let's just hope that the fight is a competitive one and Stipe puts on a great show. If he gets beaten comprehensively, then Jon Jones beats his drum even more as to be the best ever. But what happens if by any chance he loses? The fallout of that would be something to behold. And you would not put it past Stipe to spring up a surprise. After all, he has been the former heavyweight champion of the world and has knocked multiple top level guys out. So it is not something that is beyond him. Let me know in the comment section what you feel. And if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.